Can't believe that it's already time for the June Garden tour. Such a great time of year with the garden changing every day. Spring flowers are done, summer flowers are getting ready to start, and all of those little plugs that we put into the ground are starting to put on some growth and ready to be seen. Come take a walk with me. For the tour, we're going to start here in the cut flower garden. Every year, these daisies make me smile because they were the very first flower I'd ever grown from seed. They've reseeded themselves ever since, and seeing them come back every summer still feels like a little bit of magic. This cool flower bed is at absolute peak right now. The red dianthus and bunnytails continue to be some of my best performers, so they'll definitely always have a place here. Orlea has completely won me over. I hardly cut these guys for bouquets because they just look beautiful in the ground, and they seem to be blooming forever. Feverfew has absolutely exploded this year. It's nearly twice the size that it normally is, and I'm using it in almost every bouquet. The downside is that it's starting to shade some of my flowers that are growing around it. And the real surprise has been the bachelor's button. This blue has been incredible. Mixed with everything else blooming right now, it's gorgeous. The bells of Ireland are starting to stand tall, and before long, the sweet peas will start taking over. I love this transition because while spring perennials are slowing down, these cool flowers keep going for the pollinators, and they are well fed. Along this section is a shared space with me and my neighbor. I'm trying out some salvia and marigolds from seed, and this beautiful shrub rose from my mom continues to tempt me to become a rose gardener, even though I know this one is probably just unusually easy. Over here are my summer flowers. I'm especially excited about the Apricota cosmos. I planted them because everyone said they would bloom earlier than other cosmos, and so far they are proving that reputation correct. The zinnias already have buds, which means that we are getting close to the big summer show. Dahlias are doing well too, although from my experience, I know their best performance won't really come until September. Nearby, the garlic is getting close to harvest. I love this space because once the garlic comes out, the lilies bloom, and I'll have a whole nother succession of flowers go in. This bed every bed has to earn its keep around here. And one thing I never garden without is a water source for my pollinators. These boxwood containers also turned out better than I imagined. The 3 matching pots finally give this area the visual weight and balance that I was hoping for. The front yard brings me such joy. It's only a 3-year-old garden that looks like it's been here forever. One project that I finally tackled was this hillside here. For years, I never noticed how awkward the transition was between the lawn and the flower bed. Once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it, so fixing that edge became my biggest goal for the spring. Most of the plantings that I've added are relying on evergreens and ornamental grasses because they perform so well on a sunny slope. Then I have repeats of coneflowers, daisies, speedwells, and sedum throughout the landscape to create rhythm. One funny surprise this year was these were supposed to be white swan coneflowers that I grew from seed. Instead, they are blooming pink and even orange. I know exactly where the seeds came from, so nature clearly had other plants. These cannas were a gift from my neighbor, and I'm looking forward to their deep red flowers later this summer. These baskets might be one of my favorite combos for this year. The blush euphorbia paired with the silverberry petunia is just again prettier than I had imagined. The fairy garden is already filled in beautifully, and I'm excited to see the marigolds, mums, and alliums carry it into the fall. This year, I'm also using this sunny hillside to grow vine crops instead of what I've done in the past. Since I have the sunshine, I want it to work a little harder for me. One thing that's still missing is a stronger evergreen anchor in this bed. I know exactly what job it needs to do, but I haven't found the right plant yet. The brand new spirea is doing well, but it's definitely getting crowded out because it's not to its full height yet. And I will need to cut back some of these Rebecca. The side is filling in beautifully. The Bobo hydrangea already has buds, and they are probably my favorite hydrangea because they're dense and somehow still an airy blue. The astilbes that were transplanted have settled in nicely. I've also discovered this mystery hosta that apparently the garden gnomes planted for me. It is the absolute perfect color. Over in the herb garden, everything has really taken off. The sage and chamomile have doubled in size, and the salad tower is almost too pretty to harvest from. And my sunflowers, well, they're on a different planet and have decided to stay super short. Sometimes gardening keeps you humble. This area we affectionately call the jungle. It used to be completely taken over by Joe Pygry. I still love that native plant, but I wanted more diversity and season-long interest instead of one giant monoculture. So I'm slowly reclaiming the space and adding new plants back each year. This season, I leaned in a little hard on the annuals and definitely enjoying the repetition. The backyard is where I'm happiest with this year's progress. The biggest difference is the layering. Last year, this area felt flat, but now the combination of coleus, runnera, hostas, and shrubs create the texture that I was hoping for, even without very many flowers. The hydrangea vine is the plant I'm most excited about. Someday I hope this entire fence is covered with white blooms. The new shade bed that we planted earlier this season is already starting to fill in, even though many of those hostas were divided into tiny little pieces. They've already started to grow and fill in. The Chelsea chop back here on my impatience has worked perfectly, and I have the abundance of blooms that I was going for. My ghost hosta the name I gave it, not its actual name, continues to be one of my favorite plants in this entire area. And you'll notice that in the very back, I'm slowly creating a secret garden behind the bench. I couldn't decide between adding a dogwood or hydrangeas in the pots back there. So the garden center decided for me because they only had one dogwood left, and then I just get the other two hydrangeas. Sometimes that exact push is what you need. I hope you enjoyed this month's tour. One of my favorite things about gardening is that it's never done. Some things surprise me, some things disappoint me, and some things turn out even better than what I had planned. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next month.